Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is GMX23 and today I'm really happy to bring out this video.
Yes, and I
2017 career
our
mode.
client has a championship to contest. So if you want our participation, I'm afraid the
So here we have our manager, Emma Jenkins,
get back to me when
and we're going to be driving for Renault.
Goodbye.
As you can see in the
No one ever
intro
decides
part
the
thingy,
contract.
like walking up the
Anyway,
stairs.
thanks for coming by on such short notice. I just needed to
No
cover a
problem.
couple of quick things with you before you race. Firstly, as requested, there's a copy of your contract. It's a rolling deal. However, the team reserves right of termination if you fail to meet performance standards.
Okay.
Your second driver for now, but work hard, hit your targets, and I'll be able to sweeten the deal. I'm also looking to get you into some invitational events throughout the season.
Sounds good.
The experience and exposure from these will be great for your image. Plus, you'll get to drive some nice historic cars. Now then, go get ready for the next session. And good luck.
Thank you. Okay, let's waste no time. Let's get straight to practice then. Nice logo, my driver. If you got that. Yeah. Let's get straight into practice.
Welcome to Melbourne, where the practice session is about to start for this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. The pre-race talking is over. Now it's time for the drivers to show their worth. I'm here with Anthony Davidson once again. Nice to see you, Ant, and I wanted to ask you about how you go about improving the car over the course of a practice session. How much would you say is already known from the pre-race simulations? And how much do you have to do, how much do you have to work on with a real car on a real circuit?
Well, that's a good question, Crofty, and I suppose the simple answer is that there's no such thing as too much information. As you say, the bigger teams have very complex simulations, vast numbers of clever people crunching the numbers back at base, but what they can't tell you is stuff like how the track condition's going to be, or what the temperature's going to be doing over the course of the day, and how all of that's going to be interacting with the tyre. There are so many millions of tiny variables involved in getting these cars around a racetrack quickly, but the computer can't tailor the car to a driver's specific balance requirements. At some point, you still need to put a human being in there and have them feel it through the seat of their pants. And that's why we end up with different drivers having different setups. So what I'm trying to say is, Crofty, nothing beats on-track testing.
So yeah, now here we are in our little garage. Next to Hulkenberg, of course, because he's the better teammate. Because probably we'll be constantly out qualifying him and he'll crash probably. So I took Hulkenberg, obviously. But we're jumping straight into practice here and doing the track acclimatization test. And it went pretty smoothly here, going to sector 1. And yeah, it's good. Corner. And here moving to sector 2, already in sector 2, going to purple so far, everything purple, then moving to for the final sector, not in it yet, just on to sector 2, and all purple lap. That was practice for me basically, and yeah, I felt pretty confident about it, but I'm shut up now because there's a cutscene.
You got my message. Perfect. Welcome to home away from home. We get more real-time data from the factory now than ever before, and it all comes through here. So I have to spend more time checking over the reports and less time hunting you down in the hospitality suite. To that end, Sorry, just a sec. Yeah, Chris, is this important? I'm in the middle of something. Okay. Right. Well, that makes no sense. Have Sarah reset the simulation and run it again. Okay. Sorry about that. As I was saying, we've set up a desk for you at the front here. You can get onto the network from your laptop, so make sure to check the R&D screen regularly. And let us know how you want to use the data that we've collected updated over the weekend and through the practice programs. Also, bear in mind that the news from the factory won't always be good. Sometimes tests fail, like you've seen just now. And when that happens, we have to divert additional resources to fix it. C'est la vie, I'm afraid.
So yeah, we're back and we're gonna be upgrading something because we had some redeem points from the practice. As you can see right here, it's only practice one we had some. Didn't do too much, but still we had to have some R&D points. I decided to upgrade the chassis. I want to go powertrain, but I thought I'll save that for later. So here I upgraded. Our first upgrade. Hopefully it doesn't fail. And yeah, that was basically your first upgrade.
It's out with the old and in with the new here at Albert Park as we usher in what we hope will be a triumphant new era of Formula One racing. For our drivers, though, it's very much business as usual, as they look to be first across that line and get their championship off to a winning start. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. Today's race, of course, not simply the start of a new season, but the start of a new kind of Formula One. Anthony Davidson, great to have you with us once again. This is a big moment for the sport. Big changes to the technical regulations. The potential, perhaps, to give us the biggest shake-up since 2014. Very different cars visually and, fingers crossed, much faster as well.
Good thing then that combined these teams put in just a shade over 13,000 kilometres on the clock during testing. The cornering speed of these new machines is absolutely unbelievable. How many lap records are still held by Michael Schumacher from 2004? Well, on the right day, on the right tyres, we might just be threatening them this year. Wider tyres, wider cars, more downforce. I have to say they look great, and the qualifying spectacle is undebatable. Now the big question remains, can they follow? Can they race? Or have these new rules gone too far?
With that then, let's run through the grid order. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo, and Verstappen, Massa, Perez, Hülkenberg, and Roman Grosjean. Ocon, Stroll, Kevin Magnussen, and Kvyat, Renault, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, and Stoffel van Dorn. Wehrlein and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Okay, so we're gonna go right into the Australian Grand Prix. 5 red lights and away we go. We have a decent start. The both two horses are good away, and going down to turn 1, I stick behind Sainz and I dive in on the inside, 3 wide. Of course, a little bit of touching, but still going. And here I try to make the move on Stroll, and I do succeed in that. A little bit of contact, but no harm done. Now moving on in sector 2. We're chasing down after Grosjean, and I mean this gap actually stayed the same. And whenever I was a point that I actually did get close, but then just yeah, dirty air. I thought it was just like overhyped dirty air, but it's really bad. It's really bad. But still, it's really good. It's really accurate. I think I nailed it compared to last year. But now moving on to lap 2. Still chasing after Grosjean. We're not getting any closer because he's on the ultra soft tires and we are on the super soft tires. So Grosjean is going to be making a 2-stop, while I am making a 1-stop, super soft and soft. Now moving on to lap 9, because nothing really happened with this track after Grosjean, but really didn't make up any time. And we come right into the middle of the fight. Let Hamilton and Vettel through. Now we have Bottas through, Alonso through. I don't want to get any harm of costing too much time, but we do cost time because here Kvyat is right on the back of us. You can just feel him just chasing down my neck, and we're gonna have to defend from him. But now moving on to lap 12, closing in on the pit stop time. The pit stop. I forgot the word of it. I needed to make a pit stop. Still lap 12, and going to the second sector. Now moving on to lap 13. Normally I would have pit this lap, but I stayed out for another lap, and I think I made the right decision because I think the overcut worked actually. So I was happy with that. And here you can see Fiat boxing while we go out for another lap. Tire wear was good enough, was 50%, 60%, in that region. But here comes Ricardo, and I brake a bit earlier than normal. And Ricardo dives down the inside, but his engine blows up and he almost hits me, so I have to take avoiding action. But Ricardo's out of the race, so that's it was really weird to see that, just like blown up right in my face. And yeah, we're on lap 14, and that causes a virtual safety car. And then gain too much time from the virtual safety car. So yeah, after now we're going to go into the pits, and we're going to be setting up a set of soft tires. So here components are right, and yeah, going in the box with science, a bit of pit stop wars, but doesn't work out in my favor. Press the pit limiter, and we did that alright. Now here's a shot, and here I just pressed the accelerator, but nothing worked because unsafe release would have done, and I probably would have got a drive too. Now moving on, Kimi Raikkonen here retires from the race because of a mechanical failure. And moving on to up here, it's lap 15, and these soft tires are just atrocious. I mean, the grip level is really bad, and just losing a lot of time to these sectors, especially sector 1, sector 2, it's the same as sector 3. Actually gain a bit, but not too much, so again I'll lose about 6-7 tenths per lap than I used to do with this super soft, and that's a big amount per lap. And here you can see Magnussen on the super softs, I mean, just past me. Here you can always see he's just gone on lap 19, and yeah, now we got more company for Alonso, but I'm not really too scared of him because he can't really like power past me. He's also on the soft tires, but really just struggling on these set of tires and just going home, just nursing the car home. And then comes Grosjean, so we do make the better strategy work, but not. Grosjean goes for another set of auto stop, and now we're getting attacked by Stroll. We defend the inside and then go through around the outside to make that work. Now moving on to the back straight of lap 25. Here comes Stroll, and there's nothing I can do. He is just so fast. I tried to make a little cheeky dive from no contact made, and this doesn't work. Here, but I can try something here, but again a little bit too aggressive. A little bit of contact, no harm done, no damage, but still just too fast. I can't keep the position. So now in P13, and still running around to your team objective. But here come the faster cars. Here is the race leader, Sebastian Vettel, coming through, and I lift off on the straight so he can close up to me, so he can like easily pass me with DRS on the second straight, and he does that. But in the end, there comes Nico Hülkenberg out of nowhere with the toe, and I tried to do a little bit of switchback. Nico Hülkenberg locks up. We have to stick behind, and now comes the biggest dive bomb in the whole century. What I'm not proud of actually, because this shouldn't be allowed. I'm sorry. it's a little bit too much. But here, moving on, Nico Hulkenberg retires with the engine failure, and then it's the last lap because we got lapped, and we have to do one last lap. And we come home in P13, nursing the car home as the lone Renault making the race. Whew. Nah, hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next one. I'll take the comments as they go. See you guys in the next one.
Sebastian Vettel takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after that excellent result. Now then, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Probably Danik Fiat.